What's good, guys? Back in with another video, and in this one I'm going to try and compare the Orca set to the new set from Lair of the Mad Mage. So we all know the Orca set is supposed to be best in slot. Seen pure videos on YouTube, forums, testing a lot of it, this, that and the other. But my argument, I'm going to pitch an argument to you here, is for the fighter specifically, is that although we get 20% more damage based upon difference in hit points and health with the Orca's set, the new set gives some stat bonuses, and let me just drop it down here, some stat bonuses, and it's just, I don't know, I just feel like the new set kind of gives you enough extra stats that it balances out that 20%, so it doesn't feel like it's too much of a difference, so you're missing too much, if that makes sense. And here's some of the reasoning that I have. So with the Orca set, you get +1 strength and constitution, same with the belt. Strength is physical damage boost, which is what we want, and we have, constitution, AP gain, maximum health. So 2% in AP gain, 2% in physical damage boost. Well, 2 on there, which amounts to about 1% on here. Where the new set, the collar itself gives you 5% constitution, which is AP gain, which is amounts to about 2% extra, and this gives you dexterity and charisma. Dexterity is crit severity. Now, the more crit severity you have, the bigger you're going to crit, the bigger numbers you're going to see, and you're just going to hit a lot harder. It does amount to a 1% increase in crit severity, but that 1%, you know, it is hard to come by if you don't have millions of AD, and it can be quite beneficial. And the other one is charisma, companion influence. Again, it's going to be about a 1 to 2% increase, which is still quite a bit considering, you know, your dark rank 10s and 11s. Let's see if I've got one here. Have I got one on? Yeah, dark rank 10 is 3.2%. So that's my argument, is that yes, you get that additional 20% extra damage on the Orca set, but as a fighter, the stats that we get from this new set with the collar and the waist, does it outweigh that 20%, or does it close that gap on that 20% so that the difference is negligible, or you know, something like that? So I was going to try and test it running solo dungeons, but I don't think I'd be able to get a good accurate representation. Ideally I would like to get a team of a full team, and then run 3 say Shoza to run with the Orcus, and then 3 with the new set Shoza to run again with the same group, and just try and work out the averages of each one, what type of damage I get from those. But this, you know, that's a perfect world, and I wish we could. But yeah, I'm just going to do a quick run. So what I'll do is I'll jump in a queue. We'll go Shoza to run. Shouldn't take too long. Fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, I just feel like the added stats that I get, so let me just take these out. So we're sat at 100, bearing in mind I've taken out my rank 11 Black Ice, which is power, just because I don't have it unlocked on the new set. So my power's at 128, armor pen, crit, they're all looking like good. AP gain is 9.2 and crit severity is 106. So let me swap this out and put in the new set. So crit severity is 107, like I say, it gives you a 1% increase with the +2 there. AP gain is now at 10%, which is good, we want that as high as we can. Combat advantage has gone up, power's gone up, armor pen's gone up. Basically all the stats that we have on our companion are gonna go up a lot, just even by the, you know, even by maybe 400, 800 points, because of that companion influence boost that we get. Where is it here? This, so companion influence 27.5 compared to 20.6. So yeah, that's one of the main ones. Let's put this back on. 27.5. Which does mean that we are going to get more stats across the board, which means more stats, which means more damage, more DPS. Oh, yeah, it's going to take forever. Should we do... Shouldn't take too long to do one of these, should it? Get into one? Oh, we'll try it, we'll wait. Just while I speak. So yeah, so that's the reasoning behind it. I don't know, let me know what you think. It's one of those we have to really test it out. I'm just clicking a bunch of buttons while I talk. It's one of those that we have to test out. I know you could probably try and run this, the 5% companion influence, to get more stats, but we wouldn't give up 10% crit severity. On the other hand, no, let's just keep it as crit severity. But yeah, that's my argument for it. Also, as well, is that you no longer have to run the Orcus wand. You know, power, crit avoidance, and accuracy. Yeah, you get a little bit of power, but again, it's an artifact that we can now swap out for, say, Artisan's music box if we can. Same purple, 600 power, so we're getting an extra 200 power anyway. Armor pen and combat advantage, you know. Staff of Flowers, again, you know, power. So it just gives us that ability to run an extra artifact. This is a good one. This will be a good little test.
Praise Mord. Help has arrived.
So what I'll do is I'll just get this up first before we jump in. I will switch to AoE. Change that to that. So this is running the new set with the collar. Now obviously you would have seen some of my previous videos, some of the damage I'm doing. But yeah, let's just go ahead and see what type of numbers. Also, we should be able to crit just that little bit more as well. So now we are downscaled in this quite significantly, so take that with a pinch of salt. It's I'm so slow, sorry about this, getting over to places just to fight people. Like I say, ideally it'd be great if I could have a team and we could just run, you know, back-to-back dungeons so I could test and see, but we do not. So let's hit a couple of these. Everything's melting before we even get a chance, but like I've done a couple of runs. I've done a couple different types of dungeons. I've done this. I've done Shores to Run with a new set. I've done. I recently just did Spell Plague. That was just part of the random queue. And it didn't feel like there was much of a damage difference. You know, I still felt like I was hitting the 300, the high 300,000s with Anvil of Doom. Oh man, these are just literally no point me even. By the time the animations happen, everything's dead. But yeah, I didn't feel like there was much of a difference in terms of damage at all. Maybe a 20,000 here and there, 4,000, 5,000. But that's just me, you know. Someone else could do some testing with me if they wanted to. We could do some runs of something. That'll be pretty sweet, pretty nifty. Get a better understanding and idea of the numbers. But like I say, that's my argument for it. I just feel like those extra stats that we get, especially for fighter, and for most DPS classes, as I say, I know some classes benefit from different things as well, but it just, yeah, it just feels like we do just as much, if not a little bit more damage sometimes. Because unless we've got a perfect group, we're not going to be at 100% health all the time. I know I say that and I'm at 100% health now, but this is downscaled and They're not even getting a chance to hit us. Yeah, I'm just going to stand here and just start wailing on people. But, like I say, needs a bit more testing. Throw a doohickey at this guy. I swear these doohickeys do more damage than half of my encounter powers. It's insane. Like, I don't think they get scaled down. That's something else that we'd have to test. But yeah, fuck, I could get a creep that in there. I just don't feel like they're downscaled at all with some of the content. You ain't protecting nothing. Oh, I'm so slow. I'm so slow. And with that as well, like I say, you're getting the added extra AP gain. I need health. Don't stand in red circles. Yeah, you're getting the added extra AP gain, which again is going to amount to more dailies. More dailies means more damage, like a lot more damage. And then when you use the weapon set, every time you use your daily, you're getting an increase of 5% damage for 10 seconds anyway. So, you know, that added with your artifacts, you're still going to be getting that increases in damage. But it's one of those. You take it with a pinch of salt, because I can't do full testing, obviously. I don't have a dedicated group that I run with to test it as much as I would like to, but don't know, maybe we can try and put a team together, I guess. That'd be pretty sweet. He's done. This guy's just stood there, I don't blame you. Come on, hit gold already. Ah. Let's just hit this guy. There we go, gold, next bit. I remember when you used to have to farm this every day just to get stuff. Every day you'd farm it just to try and get the rings. And it just would never drop. The +5 rings never ever dropped for me. I think on Xbox I have like 2 +5 rings. And that was years of playing. So like here, if I can get into it, we'll wait for another big wave and we'll pop our daily. Like I say, the daily, when you use it, gives you an extra 5% damage for 10 seconds and you take 5% less damage. And your action points come back pretty quick. Let's just get rid of these. Problem is with this, there's not enough enemies to really start having a look at some numbers, so let's just hit one of these. So we're just slaying things now. Let's take a tank from him. It's hard to get your action point up in this type of no, don't kill it, don't kill it, don't kill it. I accidentally forgot. Don't judge me. Yeah, it's hard to get your AP gain up in something like this because there's not enough enemies with enough hit points. So as a DPS, you get action point gain by doing what your class is. Ooh. So if you deal a bunch of damage, you're doing a bunch of hits, your AP gain's going to go up quicker than, say, if you're doing something that isn't your class role. And with our AoE build, it's really easy if we have that type of enemy to get our AP gain up. If they can take the hits though. If everything's one shot, it's going to take a while, as it is doing now. But where do you reckon we'll come on the DPS board? I reckon top 2. Oh. I think we'd come higher if we could move quicker, if we could get to the fight quicker. I don't really want to just stand in one place and try and do DPS. That's not how I play. Like I say, my play style is still very much Scourge Warlock in terms of I'm gonna zip about. I'm gonna gold. Let's change this out real quick. Change. Ah, did we get it? Don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, my playstyle is still very Scourge Warlock. I'm going to zip about. Hit him with this. Hit one of them. Hit with one of them. Hit one of these. Have an anvil. So even downscale, we're still hitting 150,000 on an Anvil of Doom, which is not bad at all. Oh, he's choking me. Can't see a thing. Cheers for that guy. Right, so we'll hit him with our daily as soon as our commander strikes up. So, one of them. Anvil of Doom. 1, 2, 3. So we're still able to chunk him. Definitely. I just feel like there's not much of a difference in damage. I really don't. I don't. Whether it's just me, but I feel like I'm still taking chunks, and the numbers that I'm seeing as well, especially in different content, and content that I run quite often and frequently, I feel like there isn't much of a difference at all. I may have to just hit him with a cheeky anvil. Griffin's Wraith, he's going to die pretty soon. I don't know. Like I said, well, if you guys have watched some of my videos, I don't think there's much of a difference, if I'm honest. Especially for a fighter. Woohoo! Second, I'll take that. I'll take that. Lumia. I always gotta check them. What are they running? See, they're not running Orcus. They're running the new set. It's an expensive set, man. Woof, that's expensive. I would love to test this set, but obviously the Wyvern set for the power increase, but it's a bit too expensive for me. When you use a daily power, create a rune on the ground for 6 seconds, empowering any ally who stands upon it with 5,000. The other one is power, and become immune. Yeah, so that, you know, without the Orcus set, it gives him the opportunity to run 3 of the new set. So he's getting a lot more power from these. You know, 3,000 power compared to what 999 maximum on the Orcus. So it's and again 3,000 power on this compared to what the maximum is 1,000 on a previous artifact. So where we'd be running 2, you know, we'd have 2,000 power in total. He's got 6,000, so it's 4,000 extra power. But yeah, that's my argument on it. Again, like I said, I really don't feel like there's much of a difference in terms of the DPS output. I really don't, because I feel like I'm getting more stats across the board, which closes that 20% gap anyway. And I know people will say, oh, well, why don't you just get your power to that and up your stats and stuff, and then add the Orcus set. But the thing you've got to look at it is, yes, you can get your stats to higher and then add the Orcus set on top of it, but whatever you add the Orcus set on top of, you're still going to get more stats if you run the new stuff. So you're always going to get that added bonus. This is what I'm trying to say, is that, you know, say if it was 120 capped out, you couldn't get any more than that with the Orcus set. You add this set, you're at 128, you know, 129. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, I hope that's some insight into what to run. So yeah, peace.